Women. Men should avoid us. Men shouldn't touch us. Men shouldn't talk to us. Men shouldn't approach us at all. Women when they're around a man that makes believe he's emotionally unstable and has anxiety.
These are gorgeous. I think that's my favorite image so far.
Just our hands.
Yeah.
That was our very first day
as long as you don't have to see my face. Terrible confession to make in front of
some of the best men in the world, so they don't count.
These are gorgeous.
Would it surprise you if I told you that Pedro Pascal is not in fact married to Vanessa Kirby over here? However, would it surprise you if I told you that Vanessa Kirby is in fact married to somebody else, pregnant with somebody else's maybe child, while she is out here rubbing Pedro Pascal's face and giving him hugs and holding his hands with her ring finger?
The best men in the world.
That she's married to somebody else?
So they don't.
Don't worry, he's not gay, but he has anxiety. Now, I'm really glad we're covering this today because a lot of people have been trying to cancel me over the Pedro Pascal thing. I have said multiple times Pedro Pascal is really weird for this. But not just him, she's weird too. They are equally weird for this. I have been saying this for a very long time, and a lot of people coming after me. They're two consenting adults. They're literally just two consenting adults, guys. They are two consenting adults. What's the problem? Now, let me introduce you to the newest phrase of degeneracy on the modern ecosystem. The new woke phrase, well, this is an old phrase, but in my opinion, it's a problem. Two consenting adults is not an excuse, okay? It's not. It's a prerequisite for certain instances being okay, but it is not an excuse for disgusting shit to be okay. All right, if you have two consenting adults, but they happen to be brother and sister, and they're having incestuous sex, I think it's disgusting. I think it's fucking gross, vile, disgusting shit. All right, so in my opinion, even though they're two consenting adults, it's a red flag. All right, so if you have two consenting adults that both consent to kill themselves in front of each other, I don't think that makes it okay and cool for people to do cult suicides. All right, so two consenting adults is not an argument. I think that if you have this married woman over here, out there, getting all close and rubbing the face of this other dude over here, in my opinion, it's some satanic shit and it should be called out because with all due respect, it's fucking gross. I don't know who the actual father of this wonderful woman's fetus is. I don't know who the actual father is, but I do know that Hollywood has been trying their absolute best to launder Pedro Pascal as the new face of woke. He is the new face of woke. I'm going to tell you something. This is my conspiracy theory, and we are going to be exploring that a little bit today. Woke is dying, all right? We've seen woke dying with the Sydney Sweeney ads, all right? This is the new American Eagle ads. Woke is dead, all right? Literally last year, the woke ads for American Eagle was a gigantic, fat, black woman that was standing there the size of Alabama, all right? The size of Alabama, and that was the ad for American Eagle. This is now American Eagle ad. Woke is dead. However, in my opinion, I'll turn away from the fascist propaganda for just a minute. Woke is not dead, but it's being rebranded. Woke is being rebranded as Pedro Pascal. Now, woke is this handsome guy who's always having anxiety and touching all these beautiful women so that y'all want to be like him. A feminine ass dude. This is the rebranding of woke. So lock in, boys and girls, and watch how Hollywood has been trying their best to turn Pedro Pascal into the new face of Hollywood. This is a crazy rabbit hole we're about to go down. Now, Pedro Pascal, he's always around there being touched by women in like every single image he's in. Every single image he's in, he's just out there. I think this is incredibly cringe. And you have people on Twitter now going the opposite direction. Look at this shit. Pedro Pascal makes women uncomfortable. Women with Pedro Pascal. And just because technically these women are comfortable, now I am supposed to say that, wow, you're so right. These women are consenting to this. It doesn't at all make it weird as fuck that this shit is happening. It doesn't make it weird because they're consenting adults. They're consenting guys. It doesn't matter that they're married to other people and that they're getting all cozy with this guy. And who knows what's actually happening behind the scenes. They're so comfortable with him. 220,000 likes, 8 million views. There is a pushback, a crazy pushback to the people that think this is weird. All right, I got canceled for my latest video calling him out. I saw someone saying that Nux must be a predator because he's upset that some men could touch women and not be honestly, with all due respect, that is a crazy amount of coping. You are coping. I am happy, I am loved, and I'll be real, y'all jealous that I got what you wish you had. I'm just gonna be real. I am. I thank God every day for the lovely women in my life, including my mom. Anyway, we move on. Have you called your mom recently? You should call her. She loves you. Anyway, moving on. There are not a lot of clips that I'm going to show you, but there are a couple. Check this one out. Pedro! Does she look very comfortable to you? Does she look very comfortable to you? I don't know, but he must have anxiety, guys. He has a little bit of anxiety. The people saying that are single. No, dude, I love when people call me an incel. It's always my favorite thing. It's like, bro, holy projection, bro. Holy projection. You're calling me an incel? All right, anyway, we'll keep you updated on that. But anyway, I'm a private guy, but this guy is not. Pedro! Yeah, I think that's weird as fuck, personally. And there are just endless amounts of them. So this is, again, Vanessa Kirby, married and pregnant. Like, bro, is this not really weird?
Very codependent. Just like I'm very codependent on film.
Yeah, he's very codependent, guys. He's very codependent as he grabs a married man's waist. Like, stop, bro! Married woman's waist. This is weird. This is Willem Dafoe's wife. Right? This is Pedro Pascal in the gayest pants of all time. With Willem Dafoe and his wife. Bro, what are we doing? What are we doing? If Pedro Pascal touched my pregnant wife like he's touching these I would fucking kill him. I would kill this man. Stop. This is weird. It is weird. It is weird. Yeah, it's weird as shit. It really is. It is absolutely weird as shit. And in my opinion, they are trying their best to launder this man as the new face of the left. So, the Pedro Pascal hate campaign that suddenly sprung out overnight has got to be the most obvious, coordinated, and botted attack I've ever seen. So, a lot of people are making believe that this Pedro Pascal hate campaign is fake, and that no one actually has any actual criticism towards him. No one actually has anything to actually call out about him. It is a fake campaign that people are just saying. People are just saying that they are uncomfortable with this shit and think that it's weird. For views. And it just happened overnight. Literally right now. Literally right now, guys. Except, clearly that's not true. Clearly, this is a video that I made 3 weeks ago. Clearly, I have been saying this for a while. And clearly, you have not been paying attention. So definitely subscribe. Let's up those numbers. I am not going to be retreading tread ground. So definitely watch this video if you want to see me talk about how he potentially is a fraud, how they're pushing him everywhere, how he keeps doing these woke ads talking about how he's your slutty daddy and he's trying his best to get like 50-year-old Karens to fall in love with him. And also how his father allegedly stole embryos and impregnated 15 women without consent. Yeah, that's a real thing. That happened. He fled the country. But anyway, now there's a crazy meme situation regarding this whole anxiety. Pedro Pascal experiencing anxiety. And these memes are fucking hilarious. These are easily some of the greatest memes of all time. And I have to say, I love them. I absolutely love that people are realizing how weird and freaky it is. And now, is this why everyone is randomly attacking Pedro Pascal? Because Pedro Pascal is pro-Gaza? Oh my God. Pedro Pascal is pro-Gaza. So there's a secret hate campaign that is taking him down because he's pro-Gaza. Guys, can we recognize how funny this is? Hollywood is controlled by the Jews, which is why Hollywood is anti-Gaza. Also, Hollywood puts Pedro Pascal in fucking everything, even though he's anti-Gaza. Like, dude, this is insane. Like, you people are all crazy. You people are all fucking insane people. Okay, you are. There's a hate campaign because there's endless clips of this guy groping married women, all right? And you might not think that's weird because you're a retard, a leftoid that thinks that, oh, two consenting adults makes everything cool now. I don't care. Cheating on your husband is actually okay because it's two consenting adults, guys. It's two consenting adults. I don't care that you're literally cheating on your husband. Open relationship? I don't care about that. Two consenting adults. No. Open relationships, A, don't work. And B, are fucking gross. They are. I'm sorry. I'm gonna get so canceled for this video, but they're gross. Hot take. They're disgusting. So anyway, there is no secret campaign, all right? There's no fucking secret strategic campaign. He's pro-Gaza, so now they're making believe that they hate him. The Mossad is coming for the Jews in Israel are fighting the Jews in Hollywood right now, guys. This isn't some Jew-on-Jew violence. How come Pedro Pascal never gets anxiety around Bella Ramsey? This is the question asked by the Camelcast. We all want to know the truth. Why is Pedro Pascal not getting hate around Bella Ramsey? That's what we have to know. Why is this not happening? It's because she's ugly. It's because she looks like a potato. Okay, that's why. That is why. All right, that's my hot take. Because she looks like potato. A potato, an inbred potato with Down syndrome. Okay, all right, that's too far. That's too far. Obviously, she looks like Buzz Lightyear. Moving on, but she never got anxiety around Bella Ramsey. Suspiciously enough, no one saw this coming. But the memes have been amazing. This is just Pedro Pascal experiencing anxiety. Classic Pedro Pascal experiencing anxiety. This is so real. This is so true. I'm just gonna say it. If Pedro Pascal was fat and old, you would all be outraged. Honestly, completely true. This is the new woke. This is the new woke. The fucking 50-year-old Karens wish this was them. All right? The 50-year-old Karens wish that they were getting groped by Pedro Pascal. This is literally the new Hollywood move. This is the new woke. All right? Me wondering why Pedro Pascal never gets anxiety around his male coworkers. So true. Yeah. I never see him grabbing and groping and hugging and holding hands with any of his male coworkers because of his anxiety. His anxiety is suspiciously only around attractive women. Pretty weird. No anxiety around men. Pretty weird how that keeps happening. This is just Pedro Pascal whenever anxiety takes over. Classic Pedro Pascal with just a little bit of anxiety. Nothing to see here, folks. All right, literally nobody. Pedro Pascal when he starts to feel anxious. 500,000 likes. Bro, what are we doing? This is obviously not some psyop because he was pro-Gaza, all right, retards? Like, what are we doing? Yeah, Pedro Pascal when he starts to feel anxious. You see there's this clip over here, right? Just this clip over here. Dude, this is fucking amazing. Dating your chick's box with a Phillies flat brim on is insane. All right?
You can save £50.
Right, so something is, I don't know what's going on here, guys. Nothing to pay attention to. It's just
We've got millions of free chicken.
just some homies being homies. I don't know why she's doing this at a game,
But now,
but they were having a good time. All right, they were having a good time at a game. Pedro Pascal when he gets anxiety. Tweet of the year. Tweet of the year. Absolutely. Tweet of the year. Me alone with anxiety. Pedro Pascal with anxiety. True, true, true. Pedro Pascal is physically affectionate with the women around him without sexualizing it, and most men can't comprehend that because they sexualize every interaction they have with women. 100,000 likes. This is what they call a fucking lie. This is not true at all. Literally not true at all. All right? That's my incredible hot take. This is not even remotely related to reality. Okay? All men that are not gay, that are physically affectionate with women, are sexualizing it. They are. That's just life. Come on, dude. All these men in the self-reporting, they don't understand the concept of consent is something. Yeah, consent with married women. That's what we're doing, guys. This is the debauchery that we're talking about. Oh, it's consent, so it's okay, guys. Two consenting adults, no problem. We don't care anymore. They could even be brothers and sisters for all I care. I don't even care. They could be brothers and sisters. If they consent, what's the problem? What's the problem, bro? What's wrong with incest, guys? Anything wrong with incest? No, they consent though. Lamau, 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 lamfau. Right? Like these people, like they're coping. Pedro Pascal calming down his anxiety. Classic Pedro Pascal calming down his anxiety. I'm really glad we're living in a society where Pedro Pascal can finally feel comfortable. This is so sad. Opening X and seeing Pedro Pascal interviews. Classic Pedro Pascal. Listen, in his defense, he was a little bit anxious. Let's be real. He was a little anxious. All right. Pedro Pascal feeling anxious.
Damn you, Roger.
Oh, this is so sad. Nobody, Pedro Pascal, when he's nervous. I'm really glad we can agree that this is what's happening and they're consenting. So who cares? All right, Pedro Pascal dealing with social anxiety. True. So real. So true. I'm glad we're on the same page. Pedro Pascal with his co-star when he gets a little bit nervous. All right, listen, it happens to the best of us. Pedro Pascal to the nearest woman coworker after he has an anxiety attack. Listen, guys, it's just two consenting adults. There's nothing weird to see here. It's just a little bit of anxiety, all right? Nothing weird, nothing to see. So, Sydney Watson made a video titled, I Was Right About Pedro Pascal. So, let's dive in, boys and girls. I think that this is a giant Hollywood laundering hoax, where they are trying to put this guy as the new face of modern men. Just socially anxious men out there, not sexually touching women on their boobs, all right? Not sexually. This isn't sexually, all right? It's just a little bit of anxiety, Yes, she's married, and he's holding her hand and rubbing her stomach and rubbing her arms. But guys, it's not sexual. This is just a man who is not a predator. Not a predator, all right? You're the predator if you even think it's weird that he's grabbing a married woman's ass. With consent. It's with consent, guys. Nah, this shit's gross. Anyway, let's dive in.
He's my yummy old man.
I am your cool slutty daddy.
I actually have no idea what to do with this.
All right, let's go.
Hi, my name is Sydney. Welcome back to hell. And as per
You see, it's funny because she's Australian. So she says, welcome back to hell because hell is Australia. That's true. That's a true fact. That's a real thing. All right, it's true. That's why she calls it hell.
usual, before we launch in, today's video is sponsored by American Financing. Also, my little cherubs, I have allergies at the moment, so I don't feel very funny. I feel congested.
Oh my God. Do you have anxiety? Quick, find a married woman.
More than anything. And, you know, for the rest of you who live in the DFW area as well, did anybody also tell you that this is the worst area if you have allergies to trees? Because nobody told me, and now I spend like a good 6 months out of the year struggling to breathe, producing more mucus than your child at preschool. So a few weeks ago, I told you all about how I don't particularly like the actor Pedro Pascal. And more than that, how I find his behavior incredibly creepy.
I'm really glad that other people are noticing. And I'm really glad that people aren't calling it some crazy psyop. All right? Oh my God, guys, I can't believe there's a hate campaign against Pedro Pascal because he's pro-Gaza. So now you don't like that he's literally shoving his entire hand up a woman's asshole with consent, even though she's married, because of his anxiety.
And weird. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, that's putting it pretty mildly. I showed you all clips of him complimenting women's nails in a way that I find insincere.
Let's see what you got. Oh, they're gorgeous and glowy. That's a beautiful. It's like cotton candy with this
Yeah, this is the new face of masculinity, guys.
sparkle. I love a manicure. I am dedicating. Your nails are awesome. So are yours. Let's see your nails first.
Oh, yes, of course.
They're very nice. Yeah.
Oh my God, dude, stop! By the way, I pulled up Kira from JoJo's. Last time we talked about him talking about women's hands, and I literally got copyrighted by JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Yeah, they're very beautiful.
And as a fan of your nails,
I am telling you, this is a psyop. This is Hollywood's new secret woke. I am telling you, there is no way. This dude is everywhere. Dude, he is in everything. He is in everything ever. I'll show you. Pedro Pascal roles in 2025. All right, just 2025. Let's put it in to the AI. Let's see what we get. Because this is crazy. Freaky Tales, Materialists, Eddington, The Fantastic Four, The Last of Us. Bro, he was in 6 things in like 3 months. Oh my God.
I would like you to show them to me, please. Oh, come on, please.
I told you about how he gets away with touching women in a way that comes across as borderline inappropriate.
What do you mean? He just has anxiety.
Or very inappropriate, depending on who you ask. And I explained how he is being forced on women as some sort of masculine sex symbol, and I absolutely do not like it. I realize I am not the target audience. This was obviously not designed for me. But I'm still allowed an opinion in this free and democratic world that we live in.
Yeah, the beauty is, you have every right to disagree with me. Now, you'd be wrong, but that's okay, you have the right. You have every right to disagree with me, even though you are wrong, and this is weird, and it's a psyop, and it's done on purpose, and it's done to destroy relationships. I'm telling you, that's what's happening. They just don't like it. I'll give you a hot take. I don't touch women in general, because they have the cooties. Cooties are real. All right, this is a hot take. Leave a like on this video if you think cooties are real. They are real. That's true.
Not so much
I'm
of
a bit Pedrophobic these days.
a free world if the IRS still exists, but that's a conversation for another day. But you see, because this guy is absolutely everywhere at the moment, he is inescapable, I am seeing criticism of him starting to bubble over. Actually, funnily enough,
We're getting
when I
there.
last criticized him, my video was demonetized, which is weird given that it didn't go against any community guidelines. It was
So, it's funny. She messaged me and said, hey, my Pedro Pascal video got demonetized. What about yours? And I said mine was copyrighted. My JoJo's beside. And then I told her that, and then she told me that, you know, my intro is, welcome to hell is because society is hell, not that Australia is hell. And I've been getting comments of people saying that welcome to hell is because it's Australia, but it's really not. It's really not because of Australia. It's just, and it's because of you, which is why we're pushing the narrative that Australia is hell.
was even manually reviewed, I assume by a person, which tells me that someone over at YouTube has a big thing for our boy Pedro, which is sort of upsetting for a multitude of reasons. Anyway, some people are genuinely sick of seeing him in absolutely everything.
You guys come to AMC theaters, what movie you want to see?
Yep.
You want to see a Pedro Pascal movie? Or you want to see a Pedro Pascal movie? Or do you want to see a Pedro Pascal movie?
These are the options. These are the options.
Which Pedro Pascal movie do you want to see?
Welcome to society, because that's literally what we're doing. That is literally what we're doing. Unreal.
Even saw a video from comedian Chris D'Elia making fun of him earlier today.
Pedro Pascal, you're in too many things, right? You're a great actor. Pedro Pascal is a great actor. I would never argue that he's not a great actor. Yo, bro.
What's up, man?
I'm surprised that wasn't Pedro fucking Pascal.
That's a really good one. Oh my God.
All right? Because he's in too many things. He's in that car. Pedro Pascal was in my cereal this morning.
He's
We're
everywhere.
going to stop saying he's a great actor. And we're going to stop doing that so we can stop thinking about it. And we're going to stop thinking about him so we can stop being in things. Hey, Pedro Pascal, how many movies can you do? Have a family. Go on vacation.
He's too busy groping married women to have a family, okay? Stop it.
Is really starting to spread. But what really kicked this off again, what has led to so much dislike and mockery, were two primary videos. One of Pedro and his Fantastic Four co-star Vanessa Kirby touching him affectionately in a series of clips.
No, that's weird, okay? This is really weird. How are we not gonna say, dude, if she was my married, pregnant wife, and she was out there on a couch somewhere, stroking some dude's face, I would break it to make sure she would have nothing to stroke. Okay, this is not acceptable. It really isn't. It really isn't. Like, this is some crazy shit. Like, literally grounds for a divorce. Literally grounds for a divorce. Homie, she is cheating on you. Okay, she is cheating on you. Isn't this more on the woman? I love when people in chat tell me this. I love when I hear that argument. Of course it's on the woman. And it's also on the man. Okay? It's actually on both of them. All right, check it out. Check it out. Let's see. Let me see. Hold on. Trying to find something. I'm just finding there, baby. Just give me a second. Like I have to break out the big boys for you guys. Break out the big boys. Leviticus 20:10. If a man commits adultery with another man's wife, with the wife of his neighbor, both the adulterer and the adulteress are to be put to death. Okay? Leviticus 20:10. I'm not saying go kill these motherfuckers. Okay? I am not saying to do any of that or anything. Alright? I am saying it's obviously immoral. It is not moral. It is weird and gross. And again, they aren't committing adultery. They're only rubbing each other's faces affectionately. But like, come on, dude. We know what's going on.
Confession to make in front of Gordon.
It's because we eat some of the best men in the world, so they don't count.
And another of Pedro cuddling his best friend and fellow actress Sarah Paulson in London at the July 1 premiere of the stage show Evita. Yes, the show that features Rachel Zegler, all of your most disliked people in the one place.
It's amazing. Yeah, they were together, and the funny thing is, they were glazing each other. It was crazy.
Now, in Vanessa Kirby's case, people were mostly upset with her, noting that she is currently engaged to another man and pregnant with his child, and yet she's behaving somewhat intimately, for lack of a better word, with another man. In the Sarah Paulson case, people said that she looked extremely uncomfortable during this interaction.
This is really weird, bro. This is really weird.
And lots of accusations of creepiness were levied at Pedro. Personally, I think this is just Sarah Paulson's face. She looks quite unhappy. Although, admittedly, I did tweet something quite snarky about Pedro using this video, because I just can't help myself. But
Valid.
the Vanessa Kirby criticism has only continued to get worse as well, except now people are criticizing them both.
I have some people in my chat saying, damn, Nux, you jealous. Bro, I get all the cuddles I want. Sometimes even more cuddles than I expect. I'll be real here. I'm not missing a cuddle in my life. I'm a very lucky, cuddled man. However, it's only with one woman. To make this clear, it's with one woman, okay? And that woman is not married to somebody else. I want to make this very clear. All right, are we on the same page? I'm sorry. This is fucking gross. It is. It's gross. It's pushing, in my opinion, more of this bullshit onto society. It really is. It is pushing bullshit to society. This is not healthy for any relationship.
Sharing lots of videos from the recent Fantastic Four premiere where Pedro had his hands on her hips.
That's a little too long.
Bro, like, what are we doing? I'm telling you, some shit's gonna come out about this guy.
Come on. Very codependent, very codependent.
Where they're standing very closely and intimately together and look like a couple. Bet her
They are not a couple.
fiance is just thrilled.
Oh, that guy? He's on suicide watch, okay? His therapist is being paid overtime. All right, and even if he smiles and make believe it's okay because they're co-stars in the movie, that dude wants to kill himself. And he is trying his best to stay alive because he is currently living on spite alone, where his number one goal right now is outliving Pedro Pascal.
I mean, the good news is, if he isn't, I actually know something that is thrilling. The sponsor of today's video, American Financing.
Nice. Very nice.
Your finance. Then people went ahead and dug up a video from 2024 where Pedro is seen with actor Willem Dafoe on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Pedro touches Willem Dafoe's wife on the chin, and Dafoe appears to redirect Pedro's behavior. Some people read this as Dafoe getting defensive and looking at Pedro Pascal in a way that would melt.
I think people have to realize something really important. Okay, I think people have to realize something important. You realize these are actors, right? You realize these are all actors. They're actors. So even if they are incredibly uncomfortable, they will act like they're not uncomfortable. When they are out there cuddling on stage, they're not gonna say shit. They're trying to push a fucking movie. All right, to be clear, they just made the new Fantastic Four. All right, in the new Fantastic Four, they're married. All right, this guy is Mr. Fantastic, and this is Sue Storm. They were married in the new Fantastic Four movie. So they were literally here to promote that movie. This guy grabs her hips. What's she gonna say? No and slap him? That's gonna fucking kill the movie. It's gonna destroy the movie. They're out here to promote a film where they're married. She has no choice but to play along. I'm sorry. That's my opinion. So you can't take it at face value that she seems comfortable when she is an actress here to promote a product. All right, with all due respect. And even if she was comfortable with it, that's even worse.
Touches Willem Dafoe's wife on the chin, and Dafoe appears to redirect Pedro's behavior. Some people read this as Dafoe getting defensive and looking at Pedro Pascal in a way that would melt the skin from his bones, but then I also saw other people saying that this is insane and people are being way too judgmental towards really sweet, nice moments. Personally, after I found the full video of this, I don't know what Willem thought of this moment, but I do think this is a weird thing to do to someone else's wife.
I don't know, bro did not look happy.
Trust me when
I think it's a really weird thing to do to somebody else's wife.
I say that you don't have to look very far or very hard to find a bunch more examples of this kind of behavior, but these are the 3 videos that have captured people's attention over the last number of days. Now, one of the things that I touched on in my last video about this is how a lot of Pedro's touchy-feely behavior is attributed to him having anxiety.
This is so bullshit, man. It's so bullshit.
Something that he's actually talked about a lot in other interviews. Actually, only a few days ago, Men's Health published an entire piece talking about how Pedro Pascal manages his anxiety.
The simple way Pedro Pascal manages anxiety. Well, you see, there's a really easy way for Pedro Pascal to manage anxiety. You see, the best way to do it is the following. You grab 2 very nice stress balls, and you move on from there.
anxiety. He said that when
also, these journals are fucking pushing propaganda on people. All right, that's absolutely what they're doing.
he feels anxious, being present with other people, reaching out to others is how he stays grounded. I will say, just for the purpose of being accurate, that having now listened to a bunch of this guy's interviews and read a bunch of his interviews, one of the things that he is quite open about is the fact that he uses holding on to others or, you know, physically touching others as a way of finding reassurance in stressful situations. But
except they're specifically always hot women, all right? They're never men, and they're never Bella Ramsey. They did a whole show together, never grabbed onto her, all right? Specifically, he has a disease. It's a condition, actually. Poor man has early onset gropism. All right, normally it doesn't happen until you're a creepy old man, but he managed to get it a little earlier. He has gropism. Gropism, it doesn't come easily to a lot of men, but there is a way to cure it.
He's never definitively said that he does this as a way of managing his mental condition.
Yeah, this is bullshit. Okay? Stop. He literally is an actor. That's in every movie! He's in every movie! If he had anxiety, he wouldn't be in every single movie watched by billions of people. All right? Stop! Oh my god, I have so much anxiety. I really need to touch this woman next to me immediately.
Which sort of just feels like a bit of a tomato-tomato type situation, you know?
We're always holding hands when we're off carpet.
Great!
By the way, so when you're thrown into very heightened environments, we kind of are there to always remind each other that we're not alone, that we're in this together. Because it's scary to go in front of cameras and do things. And it's also really, really fun. And so we are always grabbing onto one another to remind each other that we're not alone in any of it.
It's
her poor husband, bro. Her poor husband. This is crazy. Again, I think that this is pushing a message. I think this is propaganda. I really do. I think the reason why Hollywood is super excited to make this guy the face of Hollywood is because this is a guy that's out there, always out there touching beautiful women. All right, touching beautiful women. He's super famous. He's mega woke. All right, he follows every single woke politics. He says Trump is a fascist and ICE is evil and you shouldn't deport illegal immigrants. Right? He follows all the steps. He says all the things. Women like him. I just think this is it's the new woke. It's a more subversive form of propaganda that they're making this guy the face of masculinity when he's a sniveling, anxious little dude.
so funny because when I weigh in on these type of things that have to do with people and feelings and whatnot, half of you think I'm being so mean and the other half of you think that I'm being too soft. But this is one of the cases where I'm just like, this is weird. I'm sorry. It's weird.
It is. It is. And everyone out there trying their best to try to convince you that it's not weird is also weird. It is. I'll be real. I could just say this as somebody in a relationship. If someone was touching my girl like that, holy fucking shit. It would not fly. It would not fly. First of all, there's no way she would let anyone touch her. Just to be clear, that would never happen, like, from her perspective. But, like, what is going on? This is some weird cuck shit.
This woman's getting married to someone
Will Smith slap, for real.
else and is freaking pregnant with someone else's baby. Like, you're walking around just holding.
I mean, you think it's someone else's baby. Like, let's be real. We don't know who the father is. Like, I'll be honest with you, right? I'm not trying to say anything. But, like, you assume it's somebody else's baby.
Hands with her? What are we doing? Anyway,
That's weird.
One video from the 2024 San Diego Comic-Con really got people talking about Pedro and his touchy-feely need for reassurance. This video shows him reaching for Vanessa Kirby's hand, which she takes and squeezes, appearing to reassure him.
Dude.
Kirby commented on this moment to Vanity Fair very recently, saying that both actors were nervous going out in front of thousands of people who liked this comic book. She added that, "He wanted me to know that we were in this together, and I found it a lovely gesture, and was very glad to squeeze his hand
Wow.
back." But this is the moment that basically had people raising an eyebrow about his handsy stress responses. It's why there are memes now floating around
I love the memes.
mocking him for this behavior. Some of them are pretty graphic, I'm not gonna lie. Now,
that one?
obviously, it goes without saying, not everybody on the internet dislikes Pedro Pascal, and in fact, a bunch of people have been showing up to back him here. I have seen people tweet that this is a hate campaign and is coordinated and run by bots.
Yeah, this is bullshit. I'm obviously not run by bots, so get out of there.
I've also seen articles saying that this response is soft and sweet and normal, and everyone is blowing it out of proportion. situation.
Yeah, I also think that that's retarded. I'm sorry. I think it's fucking retarded and weird. And it's obviously, in my opinion, either pushing infidelity or some weird new version of how men should be anxious little butterflies.
But in actuality, I think that women's alarm bells are sounding about his behavior, and men are observing this and thinking, yeah, you actually can't get away with this in real life. You can't go up.
Absolutely not. Again, I don't know personally. I personally don't know how many of these people that think it's okay are actually in a relationship. Like, I bet you that all the people that are like, oh, they're just consenting and it's nice and wholesome, these people are not in relationships. They're not. These are like lonely people that are pushing their worldview on society. Anyone that's actually in a relationship thinks this is gross. And I've showed it to people in real life to ask their opinions. Everyone thinks it's gross. Literally everyone.
Up and touch women and stroke women and kiss women and expect that it's gonna go over really well. Unless you are married to them or dating them. And even in those situations, it's a little bit dicey. Sometimes we absolutely want to have cute, sweet moments with you, and other times we want you to be as far away from us as humanly possible.
You know the difference between hormones and isotopes? Can't hear isotope, but you could hear a hormone.
I can still see you in my general vicinity. It is too close. Be gone. I'm just kidding. But not really. Anyway, people are also sick and tired of seeing this man in absolutely everything gushed about in media and entertainment and portrayed as some sort of saving grace of Hollywood.
He is. He is shown off as the new form of masculinity that Hollywood is pushing.
I've also seen countless comments online from women especially saying that they too believe that something is going to come out about this man in years to come, and it's going to be very, very bad.
Listen, I'm just saying, I don't believe in sins of the father, but bro, if my dad fled the country because he was stealing people's embryos and implanting them in other women without their consent, causing the birth of 15 babies, I would also be a little bit weird.
I've also seen some people say that this is justified because he's a gay man, and
he's not.
And if he is gay, well, that's not public information. And I keep insisting that.
And also, by the way, I don't think that makes it like okay either. All right?
He isn't. And my word here is law. This is obviously just my opinion, and you guys are more than welcome to disagree. As I always say, this is not a cult, but I think one of the things here that occurs to me is that lots of women will put up with things that make them very uncomfortable because they don't want to cause any sort of confrontation.
Especially if they're actresses pushing a movie.
Or because they think that they're helping somebody with greater needs than their own. And in the case of these actresses, let's all remember that they're in red carpet situations, and, you know, what are they going to do in front of all these cameras? But with the passage of time, maybe it's a day, maybe it's 6 months, they think about the experience.
Oh my god, I just saw someone in my chat say, gay or not, if you touch my wife, I'm going to turn you into a transgender. I just saw someone in my chat say that. I'm sorry. That's crazy. All right.
Realize that it made them very uncomfortable and that they feel gross about it. And this is actually something that I can personally attest to. So when you have a person who handles stressful situations with physical touch, you will have a lot of women who will go along with that to be kind, to not rock the boat. But needing to touch women specifically in order to feel better is
bullshit.
Not normal.
It's not, and it's gross. It's gross. It is. And it's, in my opinion, entering people's boundaries. I agree with everything she's saying. I think it's even worse, because I think this is being promoted to people, all right? Whether you like it or not, Pedro Pascal's in every movie. He's in all the superhero movies now. He's part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, okay? The new Fantastic Four is going to be in the Avengers, in the next Avengers. He is going to be in every single upcoming Avengers Marvel project. He is going to be the new face, in my opinion, of Marvel, all right? Like, in the latest, like, Iron Man died. Robert Downey Jr. used to be the face of Marvel. And right now, the new face of Marvel is going to be this guy. I guarantee you. So, whether you like it or not, an entire generation of children are going to be looking up to this guy. And they're going to see how he is a soft man that's awkward and has anxiety attacks and constantly touching married women in order to feel comfortable with himself. And I do not think that this is a good lesson or role model in general for people. I think this is some sort of propaganda, because there is no way Pedro Pascal organically became the face of Hollywood.
and it's weird. And like I said in my last video about this, needing to walk around with these emotional support women is completely bizarre. I should qualify too that there's absolutely nothing wrong with needing a hug, say, or, you know, holding someone's hand and getting a quick reassuring squeeze, but that's not really what we're seeing here. We're seeing a guy who is endlessly and constantly touching women. And, you know, even if he is gay, like a lot of people seem to think, I don't necessarily think that that makes this any better.
I agree. Especially not from the perspective of the women.
Because Pedro Pascal is Hollywood's golden goose, nobody in the industry is going to call this out. If anything, they're working overtime to tell us why this is normal and fine and sweet. I also have absolutely no idea if this is relevant or if it even matters, but I briefly wanted to mention the demonetization that I mentioned at the beginning of this video about my last video again, because I am really curious to see if it happens to this piece of content, because sometimes, just for a little bit of YouTube lore for you all, you do get really good at avoiding demonetization. And the reason I say
I have not mastered that. I have not mastered that! I have a lot of demonetized videos.
That is not just because creators obviously make money from AdSense, but because YouTube prioritizes videos that it can monetize, because it can make money off of them, and so therefore it pushes them to more people, which means that the creator gets more views and interactions and subscribers and whatnot. So it's kind of like a mutually beneficial situation. But every so often, and I can't really definitively tell you why this is, some people become untouchable. You can't put their names in titles of videos for whatever reason. You really can't sort of talk about them without the video getting age restricted or demonetized. And
I think she's right, by the way. All right, the funny thing is, so she sent me the screenshot of her YouTube demonetization thing, right? That her video on Pedro Pascal was demonetized. And she said to me, she asked me if mine was monetized. And it is. It's still monetized, actually, I think. I'll go look right now. Mine is still monetized. And she was surprised because, you know, we both basically made the same video. I reacted to her video. Obviously, everything in her video was in my video, plus more content, obviously. But how is it that hers is demonetized and mine is monetized for essentially the same shit? And I said, listen, I don't know. I said the word retard 1,000 times in my video and did not get demonetized. So obviously, it's because somebody wanted to stifle it. I assume it's because hers went like a little bit viral-ish and people started noticing it and stuff like that. It also might be because she got a lot of reports. She was telling me she was getting a lot of death threats from like Karens. A lot of Karen death threats are sent her way from the Pedro Pascal thing. So I don't know. Sometimes YouTube's just inconsistent. If I had to guess, it would be in YouTube inconsistency. And they just demonetize you because they're fucking assholes, and not because there was actually some sort of media push to stifle Pedro Pascal videos. That's my gut feeling. But who knows? I would not be surprised.
Who knows? Maybe that's because that specific person knows someone at YouTube. Maybe it's because a company that person works for knows someone at YouTube. There's probably a multitude of reasons why it happens. So seeing a video get demonetized that I know does not go against community guidelines, that's been manually reviewed and continues to be demonetized, it definitely makes me raise an eyebrow, especially given who it's about, because
I mean, look, like that's what she told me also, that her theory was they're trying to make him the new Hollywood star, the face of Hollywood, so they're gonna try to protect him. I am more inclined to believe that's not the case, personally. I am more inclined to think that it's YouTube being inconsistent, because YouTube is inconsistent. But maybe.
You can criticize people all day long on this platform, and those videos are still fully monetizable, but
not me. All my Hassan videos get demonetized because I keep talking about like terrorism and shit.
This guy, this is the line in the sand.
All right, it's weird. It's weird.
Harassment thing. I don't know. Maybe that's the little rule that I broke. But
no, it's not.
Yeah, and I'm just criticizing the guy's behavior. So just a little bit weird. And if you're listening to this and you're thinking, Sid, love you, but you definitely don't matter. You're a peon. You are.
That is not true.
Totally correct. I am.
No, it's not true. Okay, I think people don't understand how much power random YouTube retards actually have. Okay, I think a lot of people don't realize the power of your average YouTube retard. All right, this video that she made has 250,000 views. It's a lot of fucking views. It's a lot of fucking views. All right, I'll be real. It makes a difference. It really does. This is the day of the new media. New media wins, baby.
I'm a peon, so that's why it's even weirder for me. I'm just going, okay. Anyway, I think we are oddly heading into a period of time where YouTube is probably like, no, you're not going to criticize Hollywood's #1 guy. And, you know, on this platform especially, there has been not a ton of Pedro Pascal hatred and criticism.
That's true, by the way. By the way, she's right. She made her video, I made mine. Where are there fucking other videos? This is just like 2 days ago. Pedro Pascal, is everything wrong with Hollywood? This is 2 days ago, 2 days ago, 10 hours ago, 2 days ago, 3 days ago, 1 day ago, 22 hours ago, 21 hours ago. Like, it's all new stuff. There are no old videos. Weird.
So now that more and more people are talking about him, maybe we will see this wave of demonetization and age restriction and whatnot. So it'll be interesting. I don't know. I always think this type of thing is, maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's just a weird coincidence, but
Weird.
YouTube's done this type of thing before where
That's
Disney,
true.
for example, has told it to act in a specific way, and it has, so it's totally not outside the realm of possibility. So with all of that being said, the bottom line for me is that I still think that Pedro Pascal is incredibly creepy.
Based.
And I do think that his really touchy, handsy behavior towards his co-stars is incredibly weird, and,
Based.
you know, it's often inappropriate. But I think the thing that I find the most troubling about this whole conversation is how the media and people who align with Pedro Pascal
Yup.
are telling the rest of us.
Yes. They're telling the rest of us that you're the weirdo. It's because you don't understand women, all right? It's because you are actually abusive. This is a manufactured hate campaign. It's all bots that are thinking it's weird. No, you're the problem.
Especially women, that our visceral reactions to these videos are incorrect, that we are having a response that is unfair, or we're just blowing something out of proportion, that we are misreading things when a lot of us, I think, innately know when something does or doesn't look correct.
It's not just innately. I think if you are a God-fearing man that follows the word of God, you know that shit's crazy. Okay, you know that this is wrong, bro. You know it's gross. You do. If you're not brainwashed by the whole open relationship stuff, it's just consenting adults thing, you'll know this is weird as fuck.
I am not saying for a second that you cannot have a warm, happy, loving relationship, platonic relationship with another person.
It's
And I'm
possible.
certainly not saying that
Sure.
actresses can't have these relationships
Of
either.
course they
What
can.
I'm saying is that doing this stuff publicly is strange. And I think that as long as someone continues to do this stuff publicly, the rest of us who are having to observe it are going to think it's strange. And more than anything,
I can't believe the Believe All Women crowd are harassing her for calling out Pedro Pascal for being weird. Dude, she was showing me she was showing me some of the fucking death threats that she's been getting over this. It's crazy. I felt like it was my own death threats. I was like, damn, that's crazy. This is just female-coded death threats instead of the male-coded death threats that I get. This is diabolical. Yeah, anyway.
I do think that Hollywood and the media are making this so much worse for Pedro Pascal, outside of him making it worse for himself, because they are consistently pushing him on the rest of us.
He's aware.
Because they are consistently telling us
Yep.
that he is this symbol of masculinity, that he is this
Yep.
safe person that every woman should be in love
Yep,
with, that
yep,
this
yep, yep.
behavior is normal, that
Literally
we are
facts.
the ones, in fact, who have the problem. And that, I think, is where I start to switch off. So in the end, I think that this is one of those cases where we will have to wait and see how everything plays out, whether or not...
I disagree. I think waiting and seeing will show us more truth, but I think based on what I've seen literally now, I already agree that this is a problem. And I think it's a problem, and I think it is a psyop. Maybe I'm a bit too conspiracy brained, but I do think that they are absolutely pushing this shit, bro.
not something about Pedro Pascal is eventually found out and brought to light, or if he just slowly and eventually fades into obscurity when Hollywood finds their next superstar. But at least for now, I am so tired of seeing these videos on my feed, and I am so tired of Pedro Pascal. Now, on that very happy and pleasant note, and before I open the floor to all of you, this is just a reminder, check out American Financing using the link in the description. I'm really grateful to them for supporting this channel, and if this is something that you are thinking about looking into, definitely check them out and see if they might have some solutions for you. Now I open the floor to all of you. What do you all think? Are you also creeped out by this behavior? Or am I just being a big grumpy pants?
I don't think so. I think it's weird. I think it's creepy. And personally, I think that they are pushing this onto people, and I think it's disgusting. I think society is better when you have a man and a woman in a relationship together, and they love each other a lot, and they are committed to each other, and they're not going out and about playing handsy with other people and rubbing their faces and caressing their arms and squeezing their boobs. I personally think that's fucking weird as shit. Maybe I'm just a little old school like that, but I do believe that if you want to live the best life you possibly can, you will find a spouse, you will live together, you will build a beautiful family, and you will be happy and faithful to each other, respect each other, and love each other. It's literally that simple. And in my opinion, if one of you is going out there and fucking, you know, rubbing your crotch on random people in public, I think that's fucking weird as shit. And realistically, I don't think you're the most faithful person out there. So thank you for being here. Definitely subscribe. F in the chat for the cuck husband of all these women. And I'll see you in the next one, gamers. Definitely, in my opinion, we should up those numbers. Subscribe. I feel bad for women. I feel bad for women these days. I feel bad for them. It's like society is telling them and giving them all the worst advice. Giving them advice on how to not be happy with your life. Thank you, society. Very cool. Like, subscribe, and this video was streamed live on kick.com/Nuxanor. See you there. Stay weird, man.